Austin Cindric and the two-car changed their plans. I think originally they were going to go gas and go, opted for the 4 tires, as Larry McReynolds just said. Things are good in the car, a little hot on the gear temps for them.
So at least the 16 drivers who had not been to pit road come in this time, with one exception. Daniel Suarez stays on the racetrack. He's going to pit the second time by. 49 of 60 laps complete in stage 1. Busher, Ryan Preece, 2 Fords up front, Christopher Bell up on the outside of the front row with Busher as we go back to green. 9 laps to go in stage 1.
You're going to see him going at it now.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. These guys know that they want to gather as many points as possible in this stage in case something happens in the next stage or at the end of the race.
Whoa! Oh, something there it is. All right.
Bell hard into the wall.
That is a huge hit.
It's a radiator intercooler out of that thing.
That was right there at the front. He had Hamlin, his teammate, pushing hard on the outside on the exit of turn 2. Let's see what happens here.
Christopher Bell on the radio says, "I'm okay," and drops the window net to show that to the AMR safety crew that's quickly on the scene. Saw 2 cars heavily involved there, but Bell just had a hard hit, much like Connor Zilich's in yesterday's Xfinity Series race.
You see the nose of Denny Hamlin. He was right there pushing on the outside. It was time. You knew that they were going to ratchet up the intensity going for these points at the stage end.
Looks like Chris Busher. Yeah.
Chris Busher out of his car. Busher and Bell took the restart green flag side by side. Let's have a look.
Right there on the outside, you can see him getting pushed by the 11. On the exit of turn 2, comes a little bit of a tap, kind of dancing across the back bumper, Kevin. He gets loose, gets into Busher on the bottom.
Well, one thing with those Toyotas, the Toyotas are hard to push. I wrecked Tyler Reddick that very same way that Denny Hamlin just turned Christopher Bell right there off the front of his front bumper. And there's a little crown on the front of those front and rear bumpers of those Toyotas, and they're much harder to push than the Fords are.
See how that wall comes out right there? He hit that thing almost head on. That is a huge hit.
And it happens before you even know what happened. From Denny Hamlin's standpoint, you think you're just doing the right thing, and that car will just take off like Christopher Bell's did right there if something is just misaligned just a little bit.
Let's watch from the Celsius cam on board Ryan Preece, who was right behind them.
You see it start dancing across the back bumper.
Yeah, it's that side-to-side movement, and with that crown on the front and back bumper, when it went right, and when it came back to the left across the front bumper of Denny Hamlin with that little bit of bow on the back bumper, that's when it turns those cars sideways, when they start moving up and down like that.
Side of the front row, Bubba Wallace to the inside as we go back to green.
How about Cody Ware up there in the 51 car on the bottom, second row?
Well, we saw last time we didn't make it off of turn 2 when these guys started pushing and shoving right here, and you're gonna see that all over again.
What you see is a kind of a mix-up of the manufacturers. There's nobody with necessarily the right help that they're looking for behind them. Just gonna have to make do with what you got.
Yeah, it's a Toyota and a Ford on the outside with Hamlin and Preece, and a Toyota Ford on the inside with Wallace and Ware. I saw on Reddit this morning somebody had done a Talladega bingo card, and Cody Ware's name was in position 05. It was pretty funny, actually. I'm not sure how many of those squares are covered here in stage number 1. Hamlin on point as they come to 3 to go.
Good help behind them. You see Bubba Wallace on the inside. He owns that car. Be interesting to see what he does if they catch him down the backstretch. Which line does he stay with, Kev?
Well, and a lot of times what will happen on these restarts, it'll take them a lap or two to kind of get everything pushed back together with all that energy. And as we get towards the last lap of this stage, you'll really start to see guys pop out of line like we saw Chase Elliott right there. Didn't get any help, right? right there on the back straightaway. Looked like Ty Gibbs was behind him and left him in the outside row.
Bubba's catching that front row. Here he comes on the inside. What's Denny Hamlin do? That's going to be the choice here.
Haley's